Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Hello and welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Sir is over there. We're starting strong with we've got Fennec has been subscribed for 12 months over on Twitch, and Progress Only for a $5 super chat says Canadians enjoy their chips like asexuals enjoy their partners, all dressed. I was in Windsor last weekend and bought some. The bad joke came after. Much like women.
They come after as a matter of convenience.
Did you get ketchup chips as well? Oh, we got hats starting already. And also, word of the day down there, cacistocracy. Government by the least qualified or most unprincipled citizens. Government by the worst men. Government under the control of nation's worst or league qualified citizens. That's
I
just
wonder
apropos
if that
of nothing.
applies.
Apropos of nothing. Just a neat word that I thought we should all know.
I don't know if that applies to anything that's recently happened or not. Why would you introduce me to this weird word?
I don't know. Well, it just... Okay, so when I first saw it, I was like, okay, did somebody, like, try to... Okay, let me just...
Hello.
Did, Okay, Karen Tuplin says, can I say thanks for my gifted membership? It's greatly appreciated, because somebody gifted them a membership. Yeah, so when I first saw cacistocracy, my first thought was somebody was trying to steal, like, Kekistan and, like, flip it. And be like, oh yeah, no, the Keks are ruling the country, so they're all a bunch of incompetent boobs. But then I looked up the etymology, and it's like, nope, cacistocracy's been a thing since the 1700s.
Huh.
So, yeah, it's just...
Sounds like a load of cack.
It is a load of cack. Yeah, so, that's apropos of nothing, just no reason. So how you doing?
I am doing pretty okay. I am actively enjoying World of Warcraft right now, as they've added in a bunch of things into Season of Discovery that makes me very happy. I love when games take an old version of a client and modify it to where it's almost a completely different thing, but it's still very recognizably what it was years ago. I like that kind of modification on withered technology. That's great. Also, Magic the Gathering released its Foundations set recently, which made me super excited because I've been looking forward to a return to Magic the Gathering as a game on its own and not Magic the Gathering as it crosses over with Doctor Who, or Magic the Gathering as it crosses over with the Marvel Universe, or as it crosses over with Fortnite as it becomes Fortnite.
As it becomes Fortnite?
So one of the things Fortnite's known for is all the crossovers, and that's what Magic's been doing for like years now. We have a Final Fantasy crossover later this year.
The CEO of Wizards of the Coast just like stands on a hill in Fortnite, looks out over the thing, and says, I am become Fortnite.
I am become Fortnite, consumer of IPs.
Exactly. Zeth's desk says there's a Doctor Who Magic crossover. Yeah.
Yep, there is.
I don't play Magic the Gathering, and I knew that.
I have been trying to get him to play Magic the Gathering.
You haven't been trying very hard. You've just been ribbing me on stream and then not doing anything about it after the stream.
Okay, what would I do about it afterwards that wouldn't seem incredibly invasive or pestering?
Well, I mean, in theory, we're friends, so you could, like, text me.
In theory, we're friends. We do text each other.
Yeah, we send each other memes and shit, so you text me like, hey, do this. Or so, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know how to get people to do things because I don't try.
What? So, hold on. So you're going to judge me on a skill that I apparently lack, which is entirely fair, but you're doing it from a glass house.
Yes.
Okay, as long as we're on the same page about that. Jessa, son of a fucking cock shit!
Oh, God. Oh.
Fucking...
Oh, whoa.
There, you got your thing. Go
God damn
die in
it.
a fire.
I fat-fingered the thing, so instead of recording your ooh, I just played. So he said that at exactly the same time. Anyway, I still have the button.
Oh woo. Oh woo. Oh woo.
So, yeah.
Something, something, small beans, baby. Yeah.
Please don't tell me that I just came.
That's my favorite button.
Please don't tell me that I just came.
Okay, my partner just said what in an incredulous voice, so I would like to retract my statement about that being my favorite button. It is the come button. So it's related.
Not your favorite button, though. Can't be.
Yeah, there's a different favorite come button.
You've been a bad girl.
Not that one.
Fucker Carlson.
Okay. So, because the news is so depressing and realistic... Oh, yeah. Fennec spanking me. Thank you for the spanks, Fennec.
Oh, my.
Thank you for the spanks, Fennec.
Please don't tell me that I just came.
So yeah, in the last couple weeks, I've been kind of rethinking this show. Not in the sense that I want to like completely pivot and do different stuff entirely as you're doing with your main channel, but I'm just like, if you're coming to me for news that you're learning, then like you maybe need to reevaluate your news sources, because I'm a fucking YouTuber wearing a flower hat. Like,
You're
I'm
also
not...
getting the news 2 weeks late.
Yeah, well, sometimes it is semi-breaking stuff. I mean, like one of the news items here, the breaking news actually happened while we were streaming last week. So, so it is a little bit late, but I couldn't pass on the story. So I've decided that I'm going to try and focus more on like stories that I find amusing rather than political stuff all the time. Like if there's something super duper important, we'll cover it. But like, we don't need another source of depression in our lives. We know all the shit the Republicans are going to do. We know the playbook. There are plenty of much larger creators than I am that are going to keep everybody up to date with that. So like Scathing Atheist and Skeptocrat from the Puzzle and the Thunderstorm guys. They're the guys that have the God Awful Movies podcast. Those are like, you can learn about atheist and atheist related political stuff from those two podcasts. There's opening arguments for legal stuff. There's Friendly Atheist for more atheism related stuff. So like, I'm small beans. I'm ooh small beans, little babies. So instead of getting all depressed here, I figured we could come here to have some fun. Yes, we will talk about serious stuff. There's one of my 3 news stories is very related to serious stuff. Rosina Jerkinjello Keller says, I come to you for the feet pics. I might actually have a wiki feet page now.
Are you sure you don't come to him for the feet pics? Or come for him to the feet pics?
Something like that. I just typed in wikifeet.com without actually realizing, like, I don't know if that is actually the website. Why is my internet going slow right now? Okay, here we go. Vice Rhino. Do I have a page yet? Somebody left a comment on one of my videos that suggested that they might have set one up for me.
I mean,
502 Bad Gateway. They're getting a Cloudflare thing going on. Okay, WikiFeed is under attack, ladies and gentlemen. That's the breaking news for tonight. WikiFeed is under attack.
I guess it is.
Sure. Actually, I did once make my partner sit through the actual porn version of The Wizard of Oz, which is absolutely terrible in like the funniest of ways.
Every licensed porn, or not licensed porn, but like mocking satire porn, all of them, they're all bad.
Yeah, but this was like they're all bad, but a lot of them are just like bad and like, I don't want to watch this. They're clearly just trying to fill time in between sex scenes, whereas this one was like, it was actually funny what they were doing. Like, and not like they knew what they were doing. I think they hit the sweet spot where they did it on purpose. I don't know. It's a fun movie. I recommend it. And the special effects are just as good as the original Wizard of Oz movie.
I mean, they were mostly
Oh.
practical effects. They're good on a CRT.
There may be some problematic stuff with the first sex scene though. 'Cause they're in Munchkin land, and they say porn is not always the wokest when it comes to dealing with like little people and people from minorities.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, all right, here we go. Drew Harrison's got a good point. Star Wars was a terrible movie in nearly every way, but not enough to be campy. I have seen that one as well. It is not one that I like. I have watched the Wizard of Oz one multiple times because it's so funny and stupid. The Star Wars one, nah. It's like, who scans QR codes? The only time I scan a QR code is when I'm in some like hipster restaurant that has their menu on QR codes, and you have to get out your phone to look at the menu.
Like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Do they do that?
Yep.
I don't know. Last place I was at that did that was some place in Port Dalhousie.
They also started doing something where like you can't pay with card or cash. You have to pay with your phone. That was obnoxious as shit.
So, side note, I fucking hate the bank that I have my car loan with. It's like 6 weeks ago, the money for the payment was in the wrong account, so it didn't come out of that account, and the payment bounced. And they called me like a week or 2 weeks later being like, hey, your payment bounced. You need to make that payment. And I'm like, okay, take it out of the account again. I have now put the money there. They're like, oh, no, we can't do that. You need to manually pay it. Why can't you do every other fucking loan I have? Like, I have ADHD. The money's in the wrong account all the goddamn time. This is not a new phenomenon for me. I once had a mortgage payment bounce that I called the bank to let them know that the mortgage payment bounced before they knew that it bounced. And they were like, are you sure you want me to try again? Because we don't see that it bounced over here. I'm like, yeah, no, I got charged the NSF fee. I know it bounced. Just take it again. So like before they even knew it was a problem, I had proactively fixed it. But like for some reason, this bank is just like, no, we can't take the money out of the account until you go and pay the past due amount.
We can't make life convenient for you, our customer. That would go against company policy. Yeah. And if we did that, the CEO might not be able to afford a new gold-encrusted toenail.
Yeah, and so, but if the story's not over, Cyrus, because now this turned out not to be true in the end, but the first person that talked to me told me that I had to go into a physical branch of the bank to make the payment.
What?
Like I couldn't set it up on my bank. So I went into a physical branch to pay it, and I get there, and the teller is like, will you be paying by cash or check? I'm like, I don't have cash on me. I haven't written a check since I was renting.
Who the fuck writes checks?
Like, what? Like, no, I like, see, my debit card, I'm good. Like, I put it in the machine and I type in my numbers, and then you take the money out of my account, just like every other fucking business. But apparently there's regulation in Canada where like banks can't take other banks' debit cards. So I was like, so I had to drive across town to an ATM from my bank so I could take out the money so I could drive back to this place. I'm like, I give it to her. I'm like, this is the first time I have touched cash in years. Like, slight exaggeration, but like the only reason I touch cash is when the kids need money for the school cafeteria, and that. It's just like, what is going on here? And then turns out, by the time all that had happened, the next payment had not come out yet, and I guess they don't take out the payments until I bring it back up to date. So like in another 2 weeks, they call me and are like, hey, you need to pay your bill. I'm like, I tried to pay my bill. I went into the bank and paid my bill. And it just kept snowballing. So like 6 weeks go by, and I finally get everything to a point where I think it's up to date now. I'll find out in like a week. But it's just like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Horribly, apparently.
Yeah, no, I don't know what the, like, I almost want to like just get another car loan from a different bank just to like move it away from them.
I mean, at a certain point, you just kind of go, I've been inconvenienced enough. Fuck you. Bye.
Yeah, like this is a loan that I've had for less than a year. And like, I'm sorry, the money was in the wrong account. And I'm not just mad at the bank that I have the loan with, my bank is also stupid because I have overdraft protection of $1,000 on that account. And when the loan failed to come out initially, it was like I was only like $30 short. So I would have been like in the negative by $30. And they were like, oh, no, we just bounce it because that's a different kind of transaction. So that's not covered by the overdraft protection. Like, what the fuck is the point in having overdraft? Like, is that not the point that like I'm just short a little bit of money? The money's in the wrong account. So you just make that happen magically on your own and I'll just pay you back when I notice that there's a problem? Like, is that not the purpose?
I got pissed at my bank for a similar thing where I have a couple of like automatic transactions that came out and a couple of them stacked back to back. So it ended up being like your overdraft protection happened and then you're charged $30. And then your overdraft protection happened again and now you're charged an extra $30 on top of that. And it ended up being like $120.
See, that's the thing. I actually really like my bank's overdraft protect. I mean, they're changing it apparently because this used to work. But it used to be like if you go in the negative, you have until midnight of that day to bring it back in the positive, and if you do, no charge. If you stay in the negative past that day, you get charged $5. And if it stays in the negative for more than a month, or like till the next billing cycle or whatever, that's when they start treating it like you have taken out a loan, we're charging interest or whatever. So like you have usually a couple weeks to get it back in the positive and you're only paying $5. So like I like that, but now it's at a point where like, okay, no, I've just been charged a $45 NSF fee for a payment that I was $30 short on, and the overdraft protection should have covered that. I don't know why. I don't know. And Rosine is asking, is debit card kiting a thing in Canada? Why else ban cross-bank debit cards? I would assume that, like, I don't know what debit card kiting is, but
I've never heard that term before.
I feel like check kiting is that thing where, like, you would write a check and cash it, and then before it had a chance to bounce, you would like write another check or something. It's playing around with bouncing checks to make yourself more like, I didn't know you could do that with debit cards because like everything's instantaneous here, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with how you would make that work either, because that's kind of how things are here too. They're just instant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, debit cards I think are a little bit different here than they are in the States. Because I know like a debit card is just basically, it's tied directly to my bank account and it just comes directly out of my bank account. But you can't use your debit card to buy things online. You still need credit cards for that. But now some debit cards have become like credit debit cards where like you can use it as a credit card, but it still just takes it out of your account instead of borrowing money. I don't know.
That's how all of my debit cards have worked for the past 10 years.
Okay, I don't know. I just know that we've had debit cards in Canada a lot longer than you guys have, and like I remember as an adult going to the States with my debit card and being confused as to why I couldn't buy anything with it. Why do you guys not have this stuff?
I will be right back. I need to use the restroom.
Okay. What was that? No, they're not. They're asking me all sorts of questions about my find. Alex says abolish capitalism. Sure, I'd agree with that. Like the whole, it's extremely expensive to be poor because of all the NSF fees and higher interest rates and impossible to get a mortgage. So you pay fucking, what is it? Rent. And rent has to be more expensive than mortgages because nobody's going to take out a mortgage on a property and then lose money on that property renting it out to people. So, yeah. Lord of Uzkalak says, do you at least have contactless cards over there? Yeah, we've had contactless cards since well before the States got them. Like, I want to say I started using Tap to Pay in like 2015. Like it really became common during the pandemic. Like that's when all like Walmart was like one of the last big stores to get on board with that, and it took the pandemic to get them there. But like, yeah, contactless has been a thing here for longer than in the States. And yeah, Uzkalak, you're in the UK, so you've been able to use debit cards online for at least a decade or two here in the UK. It's possible that there have been ways to do that here as well, but I was not aware of them.
I have returned with the most important meal of the day, the pizza Lunchable.
Pizza Lunchable. All right.
Did you see the Adam Conover video, Elon Musk one?
Possibly.
So
Was it a new one or an old one?
it was a new one. He made a very good
I'm not
point.
Sure it did.
He made a very good point in that video that I hadn't considered before for Elon Musk. And that's that we spent so much time making fun of the purchases that Elon Musk made and all of the money he's lost in making those purchases that nobody was looking at the power he was consolidating by making those purchases.
I disagree. A lot of us were pointing out
Well,
that's exactly what he was doing. I'm not saying that I was one of those people pointing it, but I've heard people have been pointing that out for years.
I think for Adam, it's mostly legacy media that he's talking about. Because for most people, that's what they consume anyway.
Rosina says, contactless chip and pin wasn't a thing in the US because dedicated phone lines are so cheap in the US. Merchants could always do a live validation of credit debit transactions instead of waiting. Wait, do they have to wait for the contactless payment things? I don't know. Whatever. That's previous conversation. Do you know that during the French Revolution, they decapitated a bunch of the statues at Notre Dame that were supposed to represent the 12 kings of Israel because they thought they were French monarchs?
Did not know that.
Yeah. So, like, even in a perfectly justified revolution, education helps. We don't need to deface historic monuments that are actually, like, of cultural significance.
Yeah, unfortunately. You can't, I will say this, you cannot educate an entire proletariat on everything.
Yeah.
And especially once you start getting a mass of people together, people tend to do stupid things when in mass, just in general.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons that I never went to any, or one of the few reasons, there was a few of them, but one of the reasons I didn't attend any of the BLM protests was just in case I happened to be swept up in one of those very, very stupid things that would happen. Like, I don't know, a Wendy's being burned down.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. And it's not like I'm sitting here passing judgment and being like, oh, those stupid, ignorant peasants shouldn't deface such a beautiful building. Like, nah. Like, honestly, that's probably, like, in the grand scheme of things that happened in France during that time period, that's, like, pretty low down on the priority list.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I'm done thinking that any sort of rule of law is going to win out in the States at this point.
Yeah.
My optimism has been crushed. It doesn't exist anymore. I was actually like having a moment of nihilism where I was at one point where I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Why even bother fighting against climate change at this point? Just let the fucking world burn. We're just going to kill ourselves off and the world will be better off for it. Like, I'm not saying that is actually my position, but that was my mood the other day.
I've felt similarly over the bit. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think that maybe one of the things that contributed to me doing my channel pivot was not only the channel not doing as well, but just part of the burnout is feeling like the battle is exclusively uphill. And it's almost impossible, to a scary degree, it is almost impossible to tell when headway is being made at all.
Yeah. And yeah, when I thought headway was being made, and then Trump happened again.
Yeah,
just like,
and that showed me a lot of issues with the Democratic campaign as well. When you make a campaign that ignores large swaths of your support group and tries to cater to Republicans, let's be honest, a lot of the Democratic campaign literally tried to cater directly to Republicans.
Yeah, spent a lot of time with Liz Cheney in the end there.
Yeah, like, what do you, like, stop trying to court the Republican vote. Stop. These people voted for a psychopath. They're going to keep voting for a psychopath. So just stop fucking trying to court them. It's okay for individual people on the ground to try to court them because individual people on the ground have the advantage of being a family member, a longtime friend, a lover. People on the ground have these biases that they can exploit to get somebody's mind to change. But when you're far enough away from the general populace, stop ignoring your fucking base. It's only a numbers game at that point. Start treating it like only a fucking numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
And if your loudest voices on the left are your Free Palestine folks, then maybe it would be a good idea, just maybe, to, you know, try to operate as if you give a shit about that set of your constituents.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I don't know. The
campaign... I did a lot of apologizing for her, saying like, oh yeah, she was giving the politically expedient answer with regards to Israel-Palestine. I'm just like, you know what? Didn't fucking matter either way. Like, honestly, that issue was not something that brought people to the polls either. Like, people were not...
No, it was the economy. People voted with their wallets.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing.
So like, it's not like it would have hurt her campaign to just be like, hey, no, I will actually cut aid to Israel until they stop genociding.
Yeah. Instead,
she could have just done... She could, like, I know this is one of those hindsight is 2020 things, but like, if I could go back in time and be like, no, just fucking cut their aid. Like, you're gonna lose this way, so at least try to do the humanitarian thing.
I would say that the biggest thing with the Democratic campaign, it's one of the reasons why them ignoring their base pissed me off. They focused entirely and exclusively on middle class issues and not working class issues. I understand that middle class is working class, yes, but the middle class has shrunk so far that it barely exists as a voting demographic, and the middle class as a voting demographic historically leans right anyway. So fuck it and fuck them. Start catering to your lower classes. Start catering to the people who don't make $100,000 a year. Start, instead of doing what the Democrats did, where they told working class people, the economy's great. What are you talking about? Don't fucking do that. That's idiotic. No, there's a friend of mine who's
the economy
very
was great, but eggs are still expensive.
Yeah, like there's a friend of mine who actually is a master's in economics and is really, really good at what he does. And when I brought up my points on the economy, I was on stream with Ocean, and he came into the chat and pointed out, like, actually, by all these metrics, we're doing fine. We're doing fantastically. And I'm like, yeah, and it doesn't feel that way to anybody.
Yeah, because
the economy asterisk may be good, but nobody can fucking afford food. Nobody can afford shit. Everybody's rent is higher. Everybody's mortgage is higher.
I think we need to like really rethink the metrics by which we say the economy is doing good. Because like, yeah, the economy is doing good in that there is a lot of money changing hands repeatedly, which is what makes the economy do good. But like, if a lot of that money is people giving 75% of their paycheck to pay their rent, and then the landlords spend the money on a bunch of shit.
Yeah, that's not
like
helpful.
That's not great.
Like,
and honestly, the economy would do better if the rents were lowered and they could actually spend that money on comfort things like disposable income stuff. If people when people have disposable income, they spend that disposable income, and that makes the economy good. So like, yeah, the economy was good, but it could have been better if there was like if just housing prices were lower.
Like it feels
anyway,
like
I have to
the
get to the
most
super chat before I forget about it. But Alyssa Phillips says, I was a huge fan of the band Nightwish, but as a trans woman, when I saw Dawkins on stage with them, it put a bad taste on my mouth. Absolutely. 100%. I can see that.
Like it makes me angry watching people go do positively associated things with Dawkins when Dawkins doesn't do anything to disenfranchise himself from transphobes. He courts them constantly. Jed in my chat says it's like saying unemployment is down. Like, yeah, of course it is. I have 3 of those jobs. That didn't fix anything. Like, yeah, there are more jobs on the market and more people need to have multiple of them now. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's I heard a podcast where they were talking about some research that just came out where parents are spending a lot more time with their children And at the same time, they're feeling a much higher level of stress with regards to their ability to properly parent their children, not just with regards to like, oh, like, am I signing them up for enough extracurricular stuff, but also it's just like, I need money to feed these kids.
Yeah.
Because like having kids is expensive. And like, and especially like, am I preparing my child to go out in the, like right now, one of my biggest worries is I have a kid that is not too far away from moving out on their own. And I'm just like, the jobs that I could get when I was their age would not have even come close to being able to pay even the smallest of rents right now. Like my partner, before she moved in with me, she was living in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment, and her rent was like $1,700 a month.
Yeah, who is that for?
When I the last place I rented was like 13, 14 years ago. It was a townhouse. It was 2 bedrooms, but it was like significantly bigger than my partner's apartment was. And it was like $750 a month. And that was the most expensive place I ever rented. Like, wages have not gone up that same amount. Like that is not how it should be.
Like, I've been considering picking up an extra job on top of doing my channel stuff, because it's like, one, obviously the channel pivot's going to be expensive. There's no real way around that. But on top of that, even if my channel does well, at the current rate of how everything's going, it's going to get too expensive to live.
Mm-hmm.
Like that event horizon is going to happen, and there's not a goddamn thing I can do about it.
Yeah. Which is worse, this or mild pedophilia?
Man!
You remember mild pedophilia?
The one where he was like, actually, that was a very normal thing in my school, and I think it wouldn't have been a good school without it.
I don't think he said that. I think it was more along the lines of like, you know, the thing that I experienced was not all that traumatic, so like, it's no big deal. Which, like, okay, good for you that you made it through that, but like your experience is not universally applicable to everybody else. So like, but like, it's still
that's where you just look at Dawkins in the eye and go, so I would like you to state for the record the Steelman version of your statement, and that is that rape isn't that bad, actually. That is the Steelman version of your statement. That is what you said. So if you are willing to say that statement once more, then we can have a conversation about that. Or you can backpedal.
I mean, I want to say in fairness, but not really, because I feel like he would respond to that by pointing out that like his use of the word mild, it would actually exclude rape from being included in his assessment.
Did he consent to it?
I'm not fighting with you on this, Cirrus.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, this is a super easy platform to work with.
It is.
This is the easiest thing in the world.
It's not hard to be like, hey, don't touch kids inappropriately.
Yeah,
like, no,
that's
super
bad. Easy. Just like,
I do,
could
in
you
fact,
consent?
I do, in fact, condemn mild pedophilia.
Like, this feels like the easy one. Yeah. I'm not trying to do pushback on you like, no, Rhino, you're wrong. My fedora, it's on tight. Like, no, I'm not trying to do that.
Oh, you know what? In my hat bucket, I don't have a fedora.
How do you not have a fedora, you raging atheist?
Oh, God. You remember him? Apparently he's gotten better in recent years, but, like, I just can't deal with his voice.
Look, I was friends with him, and then I don't remember what happened that caused a falling out. I legitimately do not remember. There were a lot of people in that era of my time on YouTube that I became
was it just that he was a shitty person and you became not a shitty person?
I don't know. I like legitimately no memes required here. I do not remember the details of what happened. That's a call for blocking him on Twitter. Oh wait, that doesn't work anymore.
Does it not? I haven't blocked on Twitter.
No, he changed the settings on Twitter to where if you block somebody, you still have to see their shit.
And that actually took effect?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting because I actually, when I pulled this tweet, I had to do it from my alt account because I couldn't find it with my main account because he's blocked.
Let me see here.
And like, it still gave me the warning of like, oh, you've got this person blocked. Are you sure you want to see these?
Let's see. I think Steiger says someone tried already. Tried what already? Anyway, I'm looking up real quick to see what the details of it are because I just don't use Twitter all that often to begin with.
Yeah, no,
Not
and
anymore, anyway.
I'm using it significantly less now. Basically, the only thing I do is log in to get screenshots now.
I'm seeing mostly the stuff from October saying that the change is about to happen.
Yeah, but I feel like that's one of those changes that would not fly in the EU. So if he doesn't want Twitter to get banned in the EU, he's going to have to not do that. Because that was one of those things where like he found out that he was the most blocked account on Twitter. And that's when he announced that it was, oh yeah, no, you're still going to be able to see the blocked people. They just won't be able to interact with you or whatever.
I've seen people on Reddit try to defend it going, actually, it makes perfect sense. If somebody wants to stalk you, they'll just make an alt account anyway. I'm like,
no, it's not,
yes.
It's not that you can still see their stuff. It's that they can still see your stuff. That's what it was.
Okay. Still, the people who have tried defending it that way, I just want to go, yeah, no. And if somebody wants to kill you, then they're just going to try it anyway. So just hand them the gun. Why not? Let's follow that logic to its extreme. Let's do that. Let's have fun. Reductio ad absurdum is a great tool. We can have all kinds of fun with it. Oh, whoa.
You can't use the search function if you block an account still, but if you block someone, they can see you now. Oh, so that did take effect then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't care if Elon sees my stuff. I just got sick and tired of seeing his shit, so I actually blocked him.
We got things to talk about off stream.
Yeah. Okay.
You know where I live. You know.
Yeah.
There is a plan right now.
On the plus side, if he puts her in his cabinet, then you'll have to elect someone else.
Yeah, it's not fucking happening.
Are you sure? He put like a guy who almost chopped his own dick off with an axe in charge of the Department of Defense.
Look, we can get the people from Fox and Friends there.
That's a slight exaggeration. He actually almost killed a guy playing the drums with the axe. There was like an axe throwing thing, and he missed so hard that it hit a guy that was like off on the side drumming.
Imagine just drumming and getting an axe just crammed in you. Couldn't be me.
Yeah. But, yeah, the reality is that Republicans just use anti-trans bigotry to rally their base when, while Kamala Harris and the Democratic Senate candidates almost entirely avoided the issue or joined Republicans in trashing trans kid who wants to play in sports. Yeah, no, I was very disappointed every time trans issues came up because the answer is very simple and very easy, is trans rights are human rights. So, like, just pretend that whatever the question was, it's about women or people of color or anyone else in the LGBTQ community. Just pretend it applies to them and answer accordingly because trans rights are human rights. It's that simple. Why are you giving gender affirming surgeries to people in prison? Because gender affirming care is health care, and if we are going to imprison people, it is our job to give them basic access to health care, which, since that is health care, there. Boom, problem solved. Treat them like human beings.
I feel like if I was God, I feel like a media team would hate me if I was trying to be president, because I think I would start most of those responses with, first, may I ask you a question? Are you a fucking idiot? No? Okay, cool. Now that we've established that you have a head on your shoulders with a working brain, we can move on to the next part, which is, are the people in prisons humans? Are they? I mean, you've established you're not an idiot, so I'm assuming you know the answer. Like, I'd be a very condescending asshole.
Well, that's the thing, is if you're on Fox News, the answer to that question is no, they're not human, because they're just straight up using fascist rhetoric now, calling people they disagree with vermin and scum, and actually, like people say we're going over the top when we say they're dehumanizing people, but they have actually said, no, they are not human in those exact words. So, like, no, that we're not going... Trump, like we say, Trump is directly quoting Hitler when he says stuff like they're poisoning the blood of our country. That is a direct Hitler quote. He is then told on live TV, hey, that is a direct Hitler quote. Why are you saying that? And then he will respond to that with, oh, well, I didn't know that was a Hitler quote, but it's true. They are poisoning the blood of our country. So, like, after he finds out, like, assuming he didn't actually know, assuming he was telling the truth when he says he didn't know, which he absolutely was not, he was lying, but, like, to then be like, yeah, no, they tell me I'm quoting Hitler, that I'm just like Hitler, but I'm not. I didn't know it was Hitler, but he was right. Hitler was right. Hitler was saying the right thing. Like, that's called fascism. That's called doing a fascism. You're a fascist.
Yeah. I got so many people angry at me when I made the Trump one video on both the Magic channel and the regular politics channel. And of course I made a different video for both, but I started my statement with, by the way, a fascist just won the election. And if you disagree with me that he's a fascist, you're wrong, and I can prove it. Here's a video where I did. Anyway, now that we're past that point, let's talk about the stuff that matters. And I got so many people angry with me going, I don't want to listen to you because you just sound arrogant. And I'm like, I don't fucking care anymore, I don't think. I think I'm past the point of caring if I sound arrogant about something I know I'm right about. I think I'm past that point.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to entertain you with a debate. It's just like, nope, you're wrong. Fuck you.
Like, you're incorrect. I'm correct.
I'm sorry
I can prove it.
I'm sorry that you're not paying attention to reality, but that's just the reality of the situation. That's the, like, he is doing the things that the definition of the word would mean that he does, and he does those things. Therefore, the definition of that word applies to him. Therefore, that word applies to him.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the video that I just scripted. I have like one offhanded remark about Trump being a fascist. So I am anticipating that I'm going to lose subscribers on this video and make some people angry because they don't like it when I get political on the main channel.
Yeah,
like, fuck you. I make like and I guarantee you right now, there are going to be comments on that video that are along the lines of like, oh, you're normally good when dealing with religious stuff. Unfortunately, you've fallen for the religion of the left. And so you've just traded one religion for another. I guarantee you I'm going to get those comments on this Friday's video.
And what is the inverse of the religion of the left, but the religion of the right?
Now. That's next Friday's video, not this one.
Like, centrism is a position as well. So what is the religion of the left, if not the religion of the centrist and the religion of the right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is Matt Gaetz Attorney General?
Did you just find out about that, like, now?
I just found out about it right now.
I wasn't going to talk about that. Yeah, no, you got a child sex trafficker as Attorney General. Like, the party of people that literally send people into pizza places armed with AR-15s because they're so worried about child sex trafficking is now putting a child sex trafficker in charge of the Department of Justice. Like, how the fuck does that even work? Like, even like from their own side, like, wouldn't you just want to completely avoid even the appearance of that?
Yeah.
How does it make sense?
It doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't have to.
Like, that's the thing. If the positions were flipped, if there was a Democrat in the White House and they were nominating people for positions or whatever, and it came to Attorney General or whatever, and like, even if it was someone that was highly qualified, with Gaetz, which Gaetz is not, if it was someone that was extremely highly qualified, but there were allegations of sex abuse or whatever in their past, even if they were like completely unproven, not even investigated, they'd just be like, nah, I'm gonna go with the guy that doesn't even have the appearance of a skeleton in the closet. But no, they're just gonna nominate a guy who has been under active investigation for child sex trafficking for the last 4 years. Like, no, fuck you. Piece of shit. Okay.
I love the world we live in. It's so functional.
Not Nick Fuentes getting doxxed? Did Nick Fuentes get doxxed? I heard something about that.
Yeah, somebody, I don't know if it's actually, I think it is his address, but somebody, after he did the whole your body, my choice thing, somebody just went, oh, okay, we're doing that then? Cool. And then just like showed his home address, showed pictures of his house and everything. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. If you go on the internet and tell groups of women that it is your choice to rape them, because that's what that statement is, I don't care anymore. Get doxxed. Fuck you.
Yeah, so
it's past my purview of care.
So I hadn't really looked into it, but I'm on Blue Sky. Someone had posted like, on one hand, doxing is bad. On the other hand, Nick Fuentes is worse. And then there was like a debate after that as to whether or not doxing is the appropriate thing to do. Fennec says, check your email, OMG. Yeah, no, I didn't check my email for this one because I was because I was pivoting what kind of articles I was going to cover. I'm like, no, I don't even want to know what the fuck is in the news. I will see your email next week.
Soccer in my chat just pointed out he committed battery against somebody who rang his doorbell.
He ran to his mama's house and they doxed her address too. But anyway, there's an argument over whether doxing was appropriate in this case, and then like this one person said, and he has the right to be a Nazi without his life being endangered, so you do have the right to voice opposition to his ideology peacefully without your life being endangered. To which
he didn't give an opinion. He said, I'm going to rape people.
Yeah, no, so my response to that one was counterpoint. People should be scared to be open Nazis, actually. Like, yeah, if you like, that is a value that I hold. You should be afraid to express Nazi ideology. That should be something that worries you, that people find out that that's a thought that you have.
Like, society is more functional when people are not inclined to be racists. When people are not inclined to say openly on the internet, I'm going to rape women. But there were so many fucking people on the internet the day that Trump got elected that all did the whole your body, my choice shit, which is just a call to rape. I'm sorry. There is no steel manning that past it being a call for rape.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Reploid 404 says, sorry I was gone. Depression hit post-election. Also, didn't Nick's house get burned down?
I don't think it got burned down.
I don't think it got burned down, but if it did, I don't feel sympathy.
No, I don't either. I can't.
That said, it would actually be helpful to me if my house burned down right about now, as long as nobody's in it. Get it when the dog's out walking, because then I get an insurance payout and I can just buy the house that we're trying to move into. Don't have to wait for someone to buy this place first. That's not how it works. And now that I've said it publicly, if it actually does burn down, I'm fucked.
Didn't you try selling your house to a lot of people? Specifically saying afterwards, trust me, the neighbors are great. They won't cause you any problems.
No, we're not actually allowed to talk to the people that come to look at the house. We have to be gone when they come.
That's weird.
No, it's not actually, because like thinking from the perspective of someone buying a house, I do not want the person selling it to be in the house while I'm looking around, because I'm like, I'm looking for all the problems with the house. You're going to be actively trying to like direct me away from them or whatever. So like,
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Drew's pointing out Fuentes is not openly gay, but he was caught accidentally live streaming while watching gay porn. He claims he was hacked and it wasn't him. LOL. Yeah, that wasn't the first time either. It's happened multiple times. There's been trans porn as well.
Went on a date with a cat boy. He's not gay, but definitely doesn't have a girlfriend though. But he probably kisses the homies goodnight.
Well, isn't he the one that like originally came up with that whole like it's actually gay to have sex with a woman?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure that was him, where like he described how or no, I think it was like having sex with a woman who has had sex before is gay or something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was him.
And when I'm in my 40s, maybe I'll find a nice 18-year-old virgin wife. Sorry, I'm just quoting Nick. If we're just quoting Nick Fuentes.
Kitsune Cavalier says he did. So yeah, I'm going to take your word for it, because I seem to recall that.